to how I was. I'm all right till the doctor sees me.
Okay, I tell you, I want to ask you a few questions. I'd like to go back to where you were born. Can you tell me where you were born and what was your birthday?
I was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, the most gorgeous historical city I think that I've ever seen.
And your birth date was what?
On the 12th of December.
And what year?
Well, I don't want to be recorded, they'll all hear it.
I don't blame you for that. First of all, let me ask you about your parents. What was your mother and father's name?
When my mother and father's
What was their name?
My mother's name was Sarah. Sarah Dawn.
Dawn was your last name?
And last name, yes.
And your father's name?
Was Jacob Idis.
What did your father do? What type of work?
He was a shoe designer, a shoe designer.
He designed shoes?
Yeah,
Did he have his own company? Did he have his own company or did he work for somebody else?
He worked for himself. He was a master, his own master.
And how many children did they have?
We had 8 children, and mother, father's 10.
There was 8 children in the family?
Yes, 5 brothers and 3 sisters, 3 girls and 5 boys.
And you grew up in Edinburgh?
To Dad. It was during the war, the First World War.
World War.
Yeah, can you tell us about the engagement? Did you have a hard time getting something to eat during the war? Or?
Well, I'll tell you, they couldn't get away from the army, and one of them was in France, and my brother, Sam, his name was, and he couldn't get away for my wedding. And this is really funny. We were all dancing, and all of a sudden, someone said, "Oh, look who's here. This is Sam came home with his tin cans and all the things that tin cans were hanging down." And of course, he'd been tramping and where it'd been. And he came in, and of course, you can imagine how my mother and father felt when they saw their son coming from France. Because I thought he was going to be killed, you know, by then. It was terrible then in the army. But at any rate, we all danced after there from happiness to see him, even with his kilts on.
Were you able to get sugar and milk and stuff like that for the guests at the wedding, at the engagement?
What's it?
Were you able to get sugar?
No, it was very hard to get sugar and that.
How did you get it?
Well, we had friends that got it for us.
Was there a story to how you got the sugar? How did you get the sugar?
Well, Mother accumulated. Someone didn't take the sugar for a while. We knew I was going to get married, and they kept sugar, or rations, so we kept it. And I never even had, that's why I don't take no butter and sugar, because I said, well, I can do without it. I gave it to my husband. Oh,
Grandmother.
Yeah. I remember once that you always liked dogs, and Uncle Steve left you his dog to look after one because you love dogs so much.
So he came from Montreal, and he brought a dog with him. And I said, don't let that dog come into this house. I said, because I won't have it. I don't like the smell of dogs. So he says, well, I'll put it in the basement. I said, well, God help you if she does anything there.
And what happened?
So he got up the following morning and he said, I'm going to put it on the veranda and I'll tie it there, and that's all I want you to do. You can give the dog some milk if you want. I said, okay. I said, but I'm not going to be sure if the dog will be here when you come back. He said that if I tied it, it'd be all right. Well, he went away on his own business. And I said, well, I had to do some shopping, so I went out and left the dog like that, and when he came back, the dog was away. And only someone stole the dog. It was a pedigree dog. And I said, I don't care what it is, I don't want no dog in my place.
She let the dog loose.